Okay, Google, restart video.
Hey everyone, Scott Ennis, voice actor, Hollywood actor, movie star. Don't believe all that. I'm a legend in my own mind. Hey, you know me better as the voice of some of the most popular cartoon characters in the world. Scooby-Doo, Scrappy-Dappy-Doo, Puppy Power, Black and Shaggy too. And you've got the Sullivan Project podcast coming at you right now.
Hey, Google, stop. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sullivan Project podcast. I'm your host, Harold Sullivan. Hey, Google, turn your volume to 50%. Hey, Google, what time is it?
It's 6:46 p.m.
Okay, yeah, that's how I tell time the last few years since I've been blind. I was born with an autoimmune disease. In case y'all haven't tuned in before, I actually just had my 45th birthday. I wasn't expecting to make it past a couple of years. And I didn't even find that out until recently. My older sister told me. So, but I always felt like, every second, every day was a gift. I just didn't know and cherish it as much until I hit my lowest after I lost my sight. So, but you can check out my story. Everyone has a story, and you can't judge a book by its cover. That's what we say here. It's part of the reason why I started the podcast. And we have guests, audio or video, if you want to come on, or if you just want to get out stuff, or just have me say stuff for you. Check out Harold Sullivan 78 on YouTube, Harold Sullivan 78 TikTok, Harold Sullivan period 35 Facebook, and you can leave comments, messages. We appreciate share, subscribe, friend requests, likes, whatever. And you can call the show now, 724-513-1472. And you can email hs19782015@outlook.com. That's outlook.com. I appreciate, like I said, love's a choice and so is the hay, and we should cherish every day. And hope you all had good holidays, good Thanksgiving, everything. Christmas is coming up soon. And we're going to talk about some more movies here. Actually, I'm working on a ringtone for the project, the Sullivan Project podcast ringtone. So that should be up by the time this is posted. So check that out on the social media. Also, we had the last celebrity guest. We have celebrity cameos sometimes. Check them out if you want to. Last one, we had Benny, Ty Olson, who played Benny on Supernatural. Recently we had him. So he had some interesting stuff. And also I wanted to mention Randy Orton's back on wrestling. He hasn't even said anything about his buddy Riddle. So, and I don't know where Riddle is. Riddle's disappeared. So you would think the first thing, he'd come back and say something, but about, or talk to Riddle or whatever, but there is no more Riddle. So Randy's back and Riddle's gone. And I like them too. Like I never really enjoyed Randy Orton and didn't know who Riddle really was until they got together. And that was cool. So the RK Bro, they called him. And then I just found out this little interesting. My hip is hurting, so I'm kind of leaning around a little. The juvenile rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease I was born with. It's like everything fights itself, healthy and non-healthy tissue, cells, everything. So I'm just lucky to be here, like I said, but it's not luck. God got me, who got you? Luck is a lack of faith. There's no such thing. Right. These are Sullyisms I've been coming up with since I lost my sight, and a bunch of other psychic stuff, which I've always had, and we're all psychic. It's just stuff has just come in more. And again, if you want to check out any of that, you can tune into the social media platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, the Sullivan Project podcast. And so Saved by the Bell, the term, I'm sure you've heard it. Most people have heard it. I used to think it actually meant school, getting out of school, or maybe boxing. You're saved by like a bell rang. But it actually came from apparently people used to get buried alive. It was a common thing. So they used to put a bell in the casket so they could hear the bell ringing if someone was still alive. Talk about creepy. I mean, I wonder if that's still. It probably still happens today. People get buried alive. Like how long do they? They must not have waited very long to make sure they were really dead. I mean, Jesus. And they found caskets. Which people were alive in apparently scratches and evidence that they died, but they were died because they were suffocated from being buried alive. It's sad. But yeah, we're gonna do some movies. We're breaking down brackets. Uh, a few brackets recently, every few episodes, and we have a couple going. One of the big ones is best movie trilogies. We're going to do that today, and we're going to do crappy cult classics. We're going to break those down to a smaller batch. Chris was on here recently, and we talked about a few. The horror icons between us. We have 100 years of horror movie knowledge. So, but let's talk about these crappy cult classics. And I mean, not just cult classics, just so crappy. You know, just they're so good that they're so bad they're good. You know what I mean? Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, lady theme song, Randy Saved by the Bell. Second, Joe Apartment, My Name is Bruce Mario Brothers.
Hey Google, stop. Okay, Joe's Apartment. We're gonna start off with that one. This is it. Chris, no, not Chris. Crap. Jerry O'Connell. I was almost gonna say. I think his brother is Chris. Jerry O'Connell, who's been in lots of stuff. Everybody knows. He was in this rickety, low budget, but it was animated CGI roaches in it, and it was called Joe's Apartment. It's a cult classic. He lived in this place, and there was roaches there, and he actually became his friends, and they were singing. It was just, like I said, so crappy, so bad it's good. But Joe's Apartment, check that out. So we're breaking this list down from like 12, top 12 to 15, and I'm going to break it down lower. I think I got about 8 right now. So Joe's Apartment. And then we got Mario Brothers. We'll talk about that one. John Leguizamo, Bob Hoskins, Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper actually played King Koopa, and this was a Mario, the first Mario movie, and most people don't know it existed. But and the fungus was all over New York. It was just the big Goombas with little heads. It was just very odd. But check that out. The first Mario Brothers. Uh, hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, lady theme song, Randy Saved by the Bell. Second, Joe Apartment, My Name is Bruce Mario Brothers. Garbage Pail.
Hey Google, delete the first one.
Done.
Okay, My Name is Bruce. That is a Bruce Campbell, uh, low budget, where these it's called classic. They kidnap him. These young fans from a town. There's a monster running loose, or they think there's a monster anyway, and they kidnap him and they bring him. It's funny too. I think they actually lower him into the trunk of the car with alcohol or something. There's a point where he's in his trailer, and it's basically like Bruce Campbell in real life living, and he's pouring alcohol in a dog bowl. He's like, "Hooch for the pooch." But they kidnap him, and I think they lower him into the trunk of the car with alcohol or something. I don't know. And anyway, they get him in there and bring him back to this town, and he's just like, "My name is Bruce." Like, you got the wrong guy. Like his actual character in real life, but in the movies. And so he ends up, he got to try to help them. He falls in love with a lady, of course, and then he wants to help them because of her. So, man, then we Bruce. He-Man, that is a Dolph Lundgren, Courtney Cox. Dolph Lundgren actually played He-Man. And then, yeah, Courtney Cox was in that movie. This was like late 80s. Another one. And then who played Skeletor was played by, oh my goodness. Let me remember her. The guy with he actually, Frank Langella, and he was probably the best part. And he had the makeup on and all that. It looked pretty decent for back then, the prosthetic. It's hard to do a Skeletor, especially back then with no, effects or glowing or any of that. So, hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Joe Apartment, my name is Bruce Mario Brothers, He-Man, Garbage Pail Kids, Honey I Shrunk the Kids.
Hey Google, stop. Joe's apartment, my name is Bruce. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me.
Okay.
First, Joe Apartment, my name is Bruce Mario Brothers, He-Man, Garbage Pail Kids, Honey I Shrunk the Kids, Howard the Duck.
Hey Google, stop. Okay, so we have Garbage Pail Kids now. A lot of people don't know they actually had a Garbage Pail Kids movie. I think that was late 80s as well. And it was, shorter, smaller people with little outfits and then kind of like big heads with animatronics, like the Ninja Turtle movies, the first ones were. It was pretty good. The theme was uh, they were in a garbage pail, of course. They got out and they were helping this guy make clothes like little elves. And they weren't all there. Some of them were missing because I guess they had been captured and they were sent to this like place for ugly people. It's messed up. And then the rest of them were afraid. They didn't want to get caught for this place where they send ugly people. So, hey Google, what did I want you to remember? That was Garbage Pail Kids movie.
I remember you told me.
Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Joe Apartment, my name is Bruce Mario Brothers, He-Man, Garbage Pail Kids, Honey I Shrunk the Kids, Howard the Duck.
Hey Google, stop. And then we got Honey I Shrunk the Kids, which is another one that actually had Rick Moranis. And he was a scientist. He accidentally shrunk his kids real tiny with this machine. They were about the size of a Cheerio. And it was good effects and stuff back at the time. They were running around on the floor and they were in the bowl of cereal and the dog. They were out in the yard and there were all these things they had to face. Giant bees because they were little. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, it was called. Let me make sure I get all these. Hey, Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me.
Okay.
First, Joe Apartment,
You got
my
that?
name is Bruce Mario Brothers, He-Man, Garbage Pail Kids, Honey I Shrunk the Kids, Howard the Duck.
Hey, Google, stop. And then we have Howard the Duck finally, which is another small person, I believe. I don't know how they did the leg parts because they were thin, when they showed him running around in that. But it was a small person, I think, in a suit, like a duck. And it was based off a comic, Marvel. They actually had Howard the Duck in one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, or a couple of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies at the end. But it was CGI, of course. So let's break them down a little bit. We got to get rid of a few of these because some of them aren't as crappy as others, I guess. I'd probably get rid of Howard the Duck. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. We have to get, let's see here. Who else do we have? We'll get rid of Howard the Duck because that's the, you know what I mean. Hey, Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Joe Apartment, my name is Bruce Mario Brothers, He-Man, Garbage Pail Kids, Honey I Shrunk the Kids, Howard the Duck.
Okay. Hey, Google, stop. Okay, so we're going to keep, this will be the top 5. We got Joe's Apartment. My name is Bruce. He-Man, Mario Brothers, and Garbage Pail Kids. Crappiest Call Classics top 5 right there. I don't know if we'll go down to top 3, but we're going to do top 5 right there. Hey, Google, what did I want you to remember? Now we're going to do best movie trilogies.
I don't know.
Hey, Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Joe Apartment, my name is Bruce Mario Brothers, He-Man, Garbage Pail Kids, Honey I Shrunk.
Hey, Google, delete the first one.
Done.
Okay, now these best movie trilogies, we had close to 30 or something to begin with. I couldn't believe that I could remember that many movies that had trilogies, or just stopped at 3, or they had 3 and then 3 or whatever, like Star Wars, Jurassic Park. But yeah, so we're breaking these down now. I don't know what I'm going to go into, but we'll see how far we can get them. I think there's like 20 or so on the list now. Hey, Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, X-Men, The Dark Knight Godfather from Dusk to
Hey, Google, stop. Okay, so we got X-Men, the original trilogy, X-Men X2, and X-Men The Last Stand. X-Men United, that was part 2. Okay, so we got X-Men. Uh, hey Google, repeat.
Sure. Here's what you told
And
me.
we'll do more deep.
First, X-Men: The Dark Knight Godfather from Dusk
Hey
Till
Google,
Dawn.
stop. Okay, we'll do more details as we break them down, but I'm gonna do it because there's so many, so we got the X-Men and we got the Godfather, of course, everybody knows about Marlon Brando, and the Godfather was off a book actually. X-Men Godfather. Hey Google, repeat.
Sure. Here's what you told me.
Okay.
First, X-Men: The Dark Knight Godfather from Dusk Till Dawn.
Hey Google, stop. Okay, now we got the Dark Knight trilogy, Christopher Nolan, with Christian Bale, the first one, The Dark Knight, and the first one, Batman Begins. Then you have The Dark Knight, which has the best Joker, Heath Ledger, in my opinion. And of course, then you have the third one, The Dark Knight Rises. Okay, so you have the Dark Knight trilogy. And then you have the X-Men. And then you have the Godfather. And then you have From Dusk Till Dawn, which the original had as the vampires in a bar. And it's George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino in part one. And Danny Trejo is in there. A bunch of other, cameo. Cheech from Cheech and Chong. And they're like in Mexico. Uh, hey Google, what did I want you to remember? So it's From Dusk Till Dawn.
Here's what you told me. First, X-Men: The Dark Knight Godfather from Dusk Till Dawn, Wizard of Oz.
Hey Google, delete the first one.
Done.
Okay, Wizard of Oz trilogy. Now, when I'm talking about Wizard of Oz, I mean the original one. Uh, I'm going to keep on talking because the camera made it sound. Oh boy, I don't like that. We'll see if it shuts off though. It shouldn't because I've only been talking 20 minutes and it'll shut off when the battery was full. But, okay, yeah, so we have the original with Judy Garland, and then we have uh, considered a sequel, Return to Oz, which her name is Mala Baylock. I can't pronounce it, but the girl from The Waterboy and The Craft, not Nev Campbell, the other girl, and she played Dorothy. And then you have a third one, which Oz the Great and Powerful, and it has James Franco is the wizard, which is kind of like a prequel. So we have those. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Spider-Man and Mr. Glass rush out Evil Dead.
Hey Google, stop. Then we got the Spider-Man trilogy. There's actually two. There's Spider-Man, the original with Tobey Maguire trilogy, uh, where he faces the Goblin, then Doc Ock, and then Venom and Sandman and Little Goblin. And Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi directed the trilogy, who actually did Evil Dead, which is going to be in here later. The Evil Dead trilogy. We might as well talk about that now. Yeah, Bruce Campbell, Cabin in the Woods. Then they basically unleash his force, and all his friends turn into monsters, zombies, and he has to kill them to survive. There's three of them: Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Spider-Man and Mr. Glass rush out Evil Dead. Second,
Hey Google, stop. Mr. Glass trilogy. It's Unbreakable, as Bruce Willis. The second one is Split, James McAvoy, and then the third one brings all of them together, and Samuel L. Jackson is in it, as well as he is in the first one. It was Unbreakable, and it's like basically like a comic book in real life, and these three characters clash. One's good, one's bad, and one's like the mad scientist, basically. And it's neat how they did it. Shyamalan directed all three of these, who did The Sixth Sense and Signs. He put all these together, and I'm not sure if he meant for it to be a trilogy at the end, but it came out to be one. So, Mr. Glass. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Spider-Man and Mr. Glass Rush Hour Evil Day.
Hey
Second,
Google,
Back to
delete
the
the first one.
Done. It's forgotten.
Okay, Rush Hour. And we just mentioned Evil Dead, yeah. Rush Hour, of course, had Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker. There's the three, Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3. And they're like cops, and they're just kicking butt. And Jackie Chan's foreign, and he comes over and helps out the Americans. Sometimes they go over other countries. Uh, hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Jurassic Park.
Hey Google, stop. And then we got Back to the Future trilogy, of course. Michael J. Fox, he plays Marty McFly. Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown, and they have a DeLorean. They're traveling through time. Back to the Future. And then we have Star Wars. We have like 3 trilogies of Star Wars, so pick one. Everybody knows Star Wars. Jurassic Park, there's 2 trilogies. There's the original trilogy, Jurassic Park, then there's Lost World, Jurassic Park, then there's Jurassic Park 3, and then there's the new 3. And then who Chris Pratt is in from Guardians of the Galaxy. Jeff Goldblum was in a couple of the originals. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Jurassic Park. Second, Wisdom of Jesus Sarai. Third, yeah buddy, grab it and get the Lysol quick.
Okay, well that's it. It seems like okay. Back to the, I thought there was more. This must be the list I broke down already to the top. Back to Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Jurassic Park. Second, Wisdom of Jesus Sarai. Third, yeah buddy, grab it and get the Lysol quick.
Okay, so we have Ghostbusters. The rest of that's for some lyrics and other stuff. But Ghostbuster trilogy. Yeah, I thought there was more there, and I'm kind of worried that the camera showed off, but I hope it didn't. It beeped, so we'll see. I have 2 of them now that I'm working with, and they just both keep shutting off. Even though I can hear it when I hit the beeping sound, right? To record, it starts to beep, it beeps, so I'm recording. I'm blind, I can't see. But then they're like shutting off when there's no timer and the batteries are full. So I don't get it. But Ghostbusters, the last of the best movie trilogies. And they're pretty much broke down. I don't know how many there is there, 12 or 15 or whatever. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, uh, Ernie Hudson, Harold Ramis, and then you have Rick Moranis was in there, Sigourney Weaver, all-star cast. Basically, they're hunting ghosts. Who you gonna call, right? Ray Parker Jr. Everybody knows them. Good effects, Slammer. Uh, what's the I can't remember the receptionist's name. She's like, Ghostbusters. What do you want? But everybody knows her. But anyway, yeah, Ghostbusters. So we'll be back here soon. I'm working on some more astrology reports and whatnot. And be the light. Remember, everyone has a story. You can't judge a book by its cover. You don't know what people have been through. Don't hurt them. Don't do dirt to them. Because you're just hurting yourself. We're all connected. All is one. I love you all.